I mean, the biggest challenge in short sales is you're dealing with something that you're not used to dealing with in real estate. I mean, you're going to be told no over and over again. You're going to get hung up on occasion. You're going to continuously hear answers that you don't like.
And a lot of agents, when they hear no, feel rejected. And so the idea behind successful short sale negotiation is to be able to hear a no and understand that your yes lies on the other side of that no.
It's Kevin Kaufman. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Hey,
Back when I first took a job at a credit card company for a major bank, there's always this joke of when somebody wanted to speak to somebody's supervisor, you know, a lot of times you get that sense that you're just talking to the person's neighbor. You really are. I can't tell you how many times I either saw it, did it, or had it handed to me, where it's just like, yeah, here's my supervisor, hand it to the guy or to the girl into the cube next to you. And that, I mean, that unfortunately, that really goes on. And if you don't have a true concept of what that's like, you don't quite know how to counter-react that when you're negotiating on the other side of it. The very first critical piece of information you have to know is, what is the value of the home? I mean, what does the bank think the value? What does the servicer and the investor believe the value of that property is? If you do not know that, you can't negotiate. It's not a negotiation, it's an unfair fight. They've got more information than you.
The second piece of critical information is the investor. Who actually owns this note? About 20% of the loans that most servicers service are their own portfolio, their own loans. The other 80% that they service are investor owned.
So here's what I found out. The investor of this loan is
okay, good.
They have very specific list of allowable fees and non-allowable fees that they'll accommodate on a short sale, and they do not go outside of the box. So
They
are not willing to pay for items such as the home warranty, termite inspections, homeowners association, seller concessions, and the max commission that they will pay is 5%.
Yeah, you know what? I actually do deals with them all the time. I'll call them directly. I know the head of the entire short sale department in the REO department, so I'll give them a call directly because I know that's their quote stated policy, but the reality is they pay me 6% commission literally on every single deal I do with them. They also pay all HOAs for us, and they also pay up to 3% seller concessions every single time. And I know their stated policy, but I've got a good relationship with them. So I'm curious, I mean, did anybody even bother to go above the rep that we were talking to, or if not, I'm happy to call and have this conversation with them directly. But it just seems to me that this is what I would call a no-brainer deal here. I mean, we've got an offer that's above the BBO.
When you're in the middle of a short sale transaction, you hear a no, the first thing you do is you ask really good, open-ended questions to the negotiator, the person assigned to your file. Well, where did this no come from? Did you submit it to management? Has it been submitted to the mortgage insurance company? Was it submitted to the investor? Have you submitted this file to the mortgage insurance company? How many sign-offs do you need internally? Help me understand why this file is being denied and who denied it.
Bank employees are trained to speak on scripts, and they're trained to get you off the phone as quickly as possible. So when you can get them to engage with you and get this information and, again, demonstrate your credibility, that's when you can really begin to open up the lines of communication.
It's those kind of conversations and that kind of dialogue that really sets you apart, and I believe earns you a little bit of respect from the employees you're talking to in the bank.
To work on this deal, and this is what we're being told. Now, what I can do is I can go back and verify who it is that we spoke with, because I definitely understand your concern, and especially if they've done this for you in the past, I'm not sure what the difference is.
It's integral at every step of the short sale process to gather contact information.
You need to have a correct spelling of the name, you need a number, and you need an email address that you know you can get to. And
Understand entry-level people have access to all the system notes, what other people are saying about your file, and they have access to the database of the entire company. That's why an entry-level person can prove valuable to you. And your contacts at a vice president or executive level have the authority and the ability to decision files. So having both executive or vice president level contacts as well as entry level contacts, putting those two people together inside of a bank can prove to be a winning combination.
Okay, here's who we spoke with. His name is... He's a home service specialist. I have his phone number here if you'd like it.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. So we did call to see if he can make an exception, unable to make an exception, and we had another one that we had been working on and they would not budge. So that's where we're at. So I apologize. We're doing everything that we can here.
No problem. I will call them myself. I'll just work my way up. And then...
One of our favorites is the bottom-up escalation, if you will, for when there's a no. And bottom-up just simply means exactly you start at the bottom and you work your way up one step at a time, and you're just kind of building your case going up each step of the ladder.
So one of the best scripts is just saying simply, well, I'm going to go talk to Mrs. So-and-so who you report to and see if this would be their same attitude and opinion and ask them to submit the file.
Can I give them your number directly to reach back out to when they're ready to approve this deal for me?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. I will do that.
One of my favorite scripts here that I'll use, and this is typically used with a higher level employee, when there's a point of contention around maybe it's the hardship or something on the financials that the employee doesn't like. I'd just like to kindly remind this person that they've got a fiduciary responsibility to their client, which is the investor. So the script would go like, Roger, I understand your feelings about Mr. Smith, but the reality is you have a fiduciary responsibility to your investor to submit this to them and let them make the best possible loss mitigation decision. This isn't your money to make this decision on your personal feelings.
One of the other scripts that we'll use that has to do with commission, a lot of times in a short sale transaction, you'll get told by a negotiator, I can only pay you 4% commission. And what we'll really get to is getting to the place where you ask that person, well, do you have the authority to pay me more? And when you ask them if they have the authority to pay you more, they simply either say no, and then you're talking to the wrong person, or they say, yeah, well, I have the authority to pay you more. And at that place, when you can get them talking around, I have the authority, now they've just admitted to you that they have the power. They're at that level where they could pay you more commission. They choose not to because they're trying to collect more money for the bank and, obviously put less money in your pocket.
At the tone, when you are finished, hang up or hold for more options.
This is Kevin Kaufman. I'm actually not a servicer. I am a real estate agent representing a client of ours. I'm calling to speak with you in regards to a poor short sale decision that has been made. I will send you an email. I'm also going to go ahead and give a call to as well and ask him for some help on this. Essentially, you have turned down a short sale file that nets you over 90% of the BPO because you won't pay HOA fees, 6% commissions, or seller concessions, all of which I find to be completely dumbfounding, to be honest, when you've got a 90% offer. So tell you what, you can call me back. If I don't hear from you in the next hour or two, I'll give a call myself and work on the file with him. I understand your hands may be tied and you may not be able to approve this, but certainly somebody there at BAC can make an exception. So give me a call back when you get the opportunity.
You've got to focus on the client and what's best for them. And sometimes that means doing things that you've never done. Sometimes it means making people upset. Sometimes it means getting frustrated yourself. But at the end of the day, when you look somebody square in the eye and you say to them, I can help you avoid foreclosure, I can get this done for you, you've got to be willing to go that far.